Hello. It's another Sunday night here. Actually, in this case, it was Super Bowl Sunday. I literally just got finished watching the game. Actually, I'm going to go into a sale that happened during the game. That's really the best sale of the week. Well, not best sale of the week, but hey, best profit of the week by far, because I have nothing in it. But let's go over some of the things what sold. We're going to talk about today. Don't let anybody shoot down your dreams. If this reselling is your dream or having some freedom from reselling is part of your dream, don't let anybody shoot you down just because your partner laughs about it, your mother, your spouse, your kids, even if kids make fun of you. Don't let them discourage you from your dreams. All right, that's the beginning. We'll get to it a little bit more later. But I sold some stuff. Let's talk about that. Sold this Wii U controller. It lights up. It's afterglow. But anything actually Wii U is pretty good. If you see it cheap. I got a guy that does some flea marketing that I buy off of. In the winter, he doesn't have a lot of money, and he doesn't be able to set up for flea markets. So I actually bought one of these off him a while back for $15 and sold it for around $44.99. So he said, I got another one. So I said, same price, 15 and to $44.99. So, that's what we did, 15, $44.99, free shipping. This fits in the 8x6x4 box like perfectly. So it's nothing to it. So I'll pay up a little bit for easy ship, easy pictures that way. Let's get to what I was talking about just a minute ago when we started the video about I got an item for free and I made good money on it. Now you're going to see this Goosebumps book and go, well, Goosebumps aren't really a whole lot of value, Chris. Well, I'm getting ready to teach you something. There's certain Goosebump books that are good. Now this one, as you can see, is not the greatest condition. Okay, it's just average. A kid owned this one. Okay. But it's sold for $41.99, free shipping. I think it's probably going to go. It will go media, but since it's lightweight, I'll probably ship it first class since it was paid this much, because it probably won't be that much difference. But what makes this Goosebumps worth as much as it is, it's a higher number. They're numbered from 1 to 62. 62 is the last Goosebumps they printed. As with anything, I'm going to get ready to, this is something that needs to definitely be gone over. If there's a TV series, if there's a lot of any series. Now, sometimes like comics and other stuff, the number one is huge and it means a whole lot. Because what happened with those cases, sometimes with a comic, they printed, it got popular after the fact. Okay, it got popular around 55, 60 episodes, issue. Then everybody's like, where's issue 1? I got to start issue 1. I got to have issue 1. And when they find out later on, they're like, oh, they're hard to find. We didn't print many. We didn't think this number 1 was going to be such a great. But this is exactly the opposite, okay? Most time, other things are exactly the opposite, especially I base on TV series. A lot of times everybody gets into the first season. Oh man, they love this show. It's a great show, yada, yada, yada. Then second season rolls in, well, second season wasn't as good as first season. Well, third season, they're kind of doing the same stuff over and over again. But the real fans stick with the show throughout. And say the show runs 6 seasons before they cancel it or it kind of runs its course. But the 6th season is actually where the value is because they didn't make as many copies of that series, that season. And that's just like Goosebumps here. Goosebumps, when it took off, it boomed. But as it got to the higher books, it started slowing down and they start making less many. So like I said, this one is number 61. The valuable ones, I think, are 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. And 62 is worth more than this. If this was in better shape, you'd probably look at 75, 80 bucks. But like I said, it looks like something that the kids has. It is. I think they may have went back at some point and printed some of these again. But actually, this one actually says First Scholastic Printing right there. So that's what you're going to look for. So I went over this book way too long, but that was a great sale. I actually got it there for free. I'll tell you that real quick. So anyway, there was a box of books, and they were $5 on Facebook Marketplace. And I chimed in quick because I saw that Goosebumps book, and I knew that was money. So they said, all right, we'll meet you. My husband or boyfriend, he works near you, Christiansburg. I live in Christiansburg, Virginia. He lives near you. We'll meet up somewhere. So I set up to meet at the gas station. Well, that was supposed to be Tuesday morning. I was going to meet him Tuesday around noon. So he can't show up. He forgot to put the books in his truck. He can't meet. Wednesday, the exact same thing happens. So at this point, I'm worried that somebody else seen the Goosebumps book. There's actually a little bit of other stuff. I sold I Survived out of the same box for $17.77. There were 7 of those. Not, beyond the point. But anyway, they only wanted $5 for this little box. It wasn't huge box books. And so I get there. I show up for the third day. He does do it. I actually remind him remind him to bring the books. I send a message to remind him. And he shows up and he's like, sir, he said, you fooled around with us so much. The books are free. And I said, dude, gas is the way gas is. Let me give you $5 on your gas. Nope, I won't do it. Leave my girlfriend or wife, can't remember which one, leave her positive feedback on Facebook. I can leave positive feedback. I asked 3 times to try to pay him. He wouldn't take it. So I got the little box books. This was $41.99 free shipping out of it. And then we got those I Survived books. There are 3 or 4 other Goosebump books in there. There's some 39 clues that still have the cards in them. Yeah, people who deal with 39 clues know that you hardly ever find the cards in them. The kids take them out to play with the cards. These have the cards. That's that's more extra that you really don't need to know. Sold this Polo Ralph Lauren checkered shirt. It's only a large. It's a Blake, but I tell you, I think this is just a good look. It's short sleeve, so maybe people are starting to kick in. Maybe some of this short sleeve stuff will start selling. Some of the shorts will start selling. Like I said, April's usually the time that stuff starts picking up. Anyway, $2 buy, $16.99 free shipping. Like I said, we had another short sleeve shell here. This is Tommy Bahama, 2XL. This is the Spima cotton, or Spima something. Anyway, it's got the marlin that people like, the little marlin fella. It's a good size. It's 2XL. I always pick these up in 2XL, 3XL. I've had 3XL. I think I even had 3XLT one time. But these always sell really good, the big sizes. I paid $4.99 for this one because it was 2XL. I wouldn't pay $4.99 for an XL or smaller. It would have to be cheaper. But I got $25 free shipping. That's kind of my limit. If I pay the Goodwill $4.99 price, which is kind of in my area, Goodwill blanket on shirts are $4.99, I have to get $25 free shipping out of it. That has to be my goal. Sold this Pink Floyd shirt. Now, this is no concert shirt. This is no magical shirt or anything. It's got a good little graphic on it. That's cool. That's Pink Floyd. That's Dark Side of the Moon. This I just picked up at Kohl's. I think I had a $5 off 5 coupon at Kohl's. So what I do, that's how sometimes I source differently than just the Goodwills and all this other stuff. I live right near the mall. Literally, I can almost throw a stone to where I live to the mall. So anytime I get some kind of coupon, some major, good discount at the mall, I go to the mall and pick up stuff. Like I said, this probably was a couple bucks after I got done with it. Sold it for $14.99 free shipping, but it was a good size, 2XL, Pink Floyd. These are just regular Kohl's shirts. These aren't nothing special. It's got new with tags and stuff like that. If you know anything about me, if you've watched the videos, I try to keep big clothes in. I'm a bigger supplies person myself. Try to keep big clothes in. This Oak Heel. This is a 6XL. It's new with tags. These sell at the, I think that's called the DXL store. It was a big and tall store. Anyway, they sell DXL. It sells this stuff for about $40, $45 in their stores. Maybe, give or take a little bit more if it was on sale or something. But that's kind of what they sell for. The thing about DXL, I'll say, and of course they're not a sponsor or anything, but if you buy something there, yeah, you're going to pay quite a bit, but the stuff holds up well. And I think that's kind of what, I try to look for items that I know that DXL carries, because I've been to DXL a few times. And I try to find, stuff they carry, because I think they carry good quality stuff. We got one more clothing item. Oh, and I've got a couple other things too, non-clothing. Got this Reebok jacket. It's a windbreaker. I think I picked this up either yard selling or $2 or something. It wasn't much. Got $24.99 free shipping. If I didn't talk about on the Oak Hill, the 6XL, I think I got $25.99 out of that, because that was the same thing as that. I paid $4.99 to Goodwill for that. Didn't pay that for the jacket. I know I didn't pay that for the jacket, but I did pay that for the Oak Hill, the shirt there. It was, anytime, I will say, whenever I see a big size at the Goodwill, that's new with tags like that, that'd be 4X and beyond, I go ahead and grab it. It always sells. I always can get that right around that $25 premium. It doesn't really matter. I didn't pick up. I had, from a long time ago, a little box of Sega Genesis cartridges. And I may have showed a couple of those through the weeks here, but I never really explained it, where they came from. I'd had them for years, but they really didn't have a lot of value at the time. But over time, the Sega Genesis stuff has kind of picked up. Cartridge stuff as a whole is just getting to the point where it's harder and harder to find, harder for us resellers to find, and harder for collectors to find. So anyway, this was no big sale. These were just two out of that little box. The greatest heavyweights, which is not a very fun boxing game. It's not. I tried playing it. And then Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition. Street Fighter's great. Anyway, both of them $14.99, free shipping. It was out of a box. I'm sure, if I'm remembering right, the story, I paid like $35 for everything. It was a bunch of GameCube games and stuff back in the day, years ago. And all that stuff paid for itself. This was just kind of some of the leftovers, the remnants, and I just never got around to list them till this winter. Anyway, last sale. I hadn't realized these had kind of went back up in market. I want to kind of explain some things. I'll explain a couple of things. I see questions sometimes on eBay forums. I got a sale from a calculator, and it's going to eBay buyback. Is it good? Is somebody scamming me? It's 100% great. It's the best person that could buy off of you. I've sold so many of them. Then this goes to California, and I think they rent the calculators out to students and stuff. I don't know what they do with them. I don't care. They pay well. They pay a good price. You never have any issues. I've never had any complaints. Positive feedback. But anyway, picked up if I can do this right, an 83 plus. I thought these things had kind of went down a little bit in value, and this was at the Goodwill. I picked this up. This was $4.99 itself. And I thought they'd gotten to the point where they weren't a whole lot. I thought I couldn't pay about more than $3. I thought they were about $20 free shipping, but I was wrong. That's why it tells you sometimes to look stuff up, even if you think you're in the right. I was kind of, I didn't have a lot of stuff, so I thought, well, I will look it up. And they were going about $28 free shipping. Well, that's a totally different creature. So I did. I picked it up $28. I picked it up for $4.99. Sold for $28 free shipping. It did have corrosion and stuff in the back battery pack. It did have the battery thing covered. But just some simple alcohol and some swabs, guys. Just clean it up. Just, hit it hard with the alcohol. Hit it hard with the swab. I mean, what you do is put the swab in the alcohol. And then you clean these little prongs up. You clean these things up for sure, the connectors. Make sure those are good and clean. And then go back after they're good and got all that alcohol, and they've knocked off a lot of the corrosion. Then take a dry one and clean off the connectors. Again, as you can see at this point, the connectors are really good. And I always keep a little tub. I don't know if it's here. I don't see it here. So I keep a little tub of batteries, of AA and AAA batteries. It's just a little tub I've got. And they're my trial batteries, and sometimes some of them don't work, but I have enough of them that work, that do. So anyway, it worked fine, and I listed it for $28, and it was sold within you know, about an hour, because the eBay buyback, they keep a watch on everything. I don't know exactly how they put their watch on, but they put a watch on, and they come through and they'll knock it out and buy it quick. So this is going to California, eBay buyback, $28 free shipping. Love that sale. That's the way I like to make money. What I want to talk about, like I explained earlier, was about don't let somebody sell you short on your dreams. If it's your dream to be a reseller, if it's your dream to have freedom, to be your own boss, to go see things, that book of Goosebumps sold while Rihanna was singing during the halftime show at the Super Bowl. I'm sitting there watching Rihanna, my phone chings. That Goosebump book sells. That's the type of freedom I want. There's times I've had to work through the Super Bowl, okay? I didn't have to work through the Super Bowl this year. I got to watch it, you know, and it wasn't even my favorite teams, but I got to watch it. This is the type of freedom that reselling can do for you, okay? This is the type of change in your life that can happen. Yeah, there is inconveniences. You may not want to take up a room of your house to do this, okay? You know, but everything. But what I want to get into, lastly, is like I said, don't let people steal your dreams. I'm going to talk about Sam Walton for a few minutes. Now, some of you don't like Walmart, and I understand. I'm not talking about Walmart today. I'm talking about Sam Walton, the guy who founded Walmart. The guy that probably, if he were still alive today, would run things a totally different way from the way that we see Walmart run. But Sam was just a farmer. He was just a regular farmer. And he watched his parents do different things. His mom actually had a milk service that she made money off that was very profitable. But he always seen how they did extra things to bring money in. People even back then had side hustles, okay? Don't disbelieve the fact that people even back in the 30s, the 40s, whatever, had side hustles, okay? They knitted, they made things, they did stuff to bring in extra money. And Sam at one point worked at J.C. Penney's. And they told him for sure, his boss told him, he said, you have no business being in the retail business, because Sam wanted to do things differently than they wanted to do them. They believed in traditional ways. And, you know, where's J.C. Penney at today and where's Walmart at today? Okay. His first store that he bought, he had to borrow a total of $25,000. And I know a lot of people, especially even back in the 40s, that's a lot of money, and you might say, Chris, I don't have the access to borrow $25,000. That's not the part of the story. But he borrowed $25,000, and he ran a Ben Franklin store, and that was in Newport, Arkansas. And he flourished. The store had been a very poor performing Ben Franklin store. There was actually multiple Ben Franklin stores, and he even signed a bad contract. He didn't know anything. He's just naive like every one of us, really. He didn't know but he was overpaying for the store. He was paying 5% of his store sales back to Ben Franklin for the store. But the store was booming. Why? Because Sam Walton did things different than other people. He bought from different distributors than the Ben Franklin. And yes, the thing is in the contract that he'd signed with Ben Franklin, they didn't stipulate that you had to buy certain brands or that you had to buy from certain people. So Sam bought from cheaper people, and therefore he always passed the savings on to the customer. So, you know, and he did different other promotional and sale type things. He gave out free popcorn and just different things to drive business into his store. So his sales boomed and boomed and boomed. But he didn't. You don't know the story of Ben Franklin's store, do you? Never heard of probably Ben Franklin's store. I hadn't heard of it till I watched the video on it, and I had to immediately take notes, and I was like, I have got to talk about this week. The Ben Franklin store, he signed a lease with, and this is where Sam got in trouble. He didn't get in trouble with the law. When I say in trouble, he signed when he signed a lease, it was no terms as far as was it for 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. And the people that owned Ben Franklin's store saw it booming. They didn't need Sam Walton in there. They removed Sam Walton from the store because they didn't know anything to him. They removed him from the store, and he was kicked out of his own store, the store that he made big money in. He was kicked out of. But he didn't give up his dream, guys. He knew what he knew, and he knew that it worked. So he didn't give up. And, you know, he continued on, and then he moved to Bentonville, Arkansas. And he opened up a store there. And, of course, you know what happened there. There's thousands of them now. Thousands of them. And they are named Walmart. And they're named after him. And when he signed those leases, because he signed leases, he did 99-year leases. Because that way he couldn't be kicked out of his own store again. He learned his lesson. He learned it in a hard way. But he didn't let it stop him from his dreams. And that's what I'm here to tell you. If you've got a dream, if this is what your dream is, it's reselling, or this is just something that you can help do a vacation or whatever. But don't let people talk you out of it. Don't let people sell you short, okay? That's all I've got to say, you know. Like I said, Sam Walton didn't, and I'm not saying you've got to become Sam Walton. You're not going to probably be Sam Walton. You're not going to be Sam Walton. The people I'm talking to on this video are not going to be Sam Walton. They're not going to be Jeff Bezos. But that don't mean you can't make life-changing money, and you can't change your family tree. You can absolutely change your family tree. And you can maybe get home or bring your wife home or whoever. They maybe can come home and spend time with the kids. They maybe can help raise the kids. They maybe can do whatever. But this can be life-changing money. This can be certainly things that change your life, changes your path. That's all I got for this week. If you like this type of content, as always, give me a like. If you comment, hey, comment and tell me. You know, what do you think? Did somebody ever try to stop you from your dreams? Has sometimes handicaps and certain situations you had happen in your life try to stop you from your dreams? As always, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to this channel. I'd like to see this channel, of course, grow and become bigger. I'm always enthusiastic. Even though we have a small amount of subscribers at this point, I always have enthusiasm just seeing people watch the videos and the comments I do get. I appreciate all of it. That's all I've got for this week. Have a great week.